Breaking news inside Studio K. Lauren Shahadi with you on a Monday, and we learned that Anthony Santander is a Blue Jay. Toronto and Santander in agreement pending physical. Our own JP Morosi broke the news moments ago, and he joins us now on a Monday. JP, hello to you. Wait, where the heck are you, by the way?
Hey, good morning, Lauren, or afternoon, I suppose. Greetings from Albany International Airport, getting ready to cover the Hall of Fame election, and I've got my baseball assistance team hat on, and just as I landed, we had some news. So Anthony Santander, finally some good news for the Toronto Blue Jays. Lauren, they've been looking for a bat, an arm all offseason long. They did get Jeff Hoffman, and now Anthony Santander, one of the biggest bats who is, as of today, still available on the market.
You're right. You know, we've been talking about Toronto as a bridesmaid. They get a stud. How'd this deal get done? Was it long in the making, JP?
It was, Lauren. I think that the Blue Jays are one of the teams that we've heard connected to Santander throughout this offseason, and he gives them a lot of balance. We talk about how the middle of the Jays lineup, they've got Vladimir Guerrero Jr., of course, from the right side. They've got Bo Bichette as well. And just look how nicely Santander fits in the middle part of this lineup, right between Guerrero and Kirk, at least in that iteration of it. You've got Springer leading off. I don't think they're totally done yet, Lauren. It wouldn't surprise me if we see someone like a Jurickson Profar perhaps land with the Blue Jays. He's another person they've had some interest in, but we had heard at different times names like Alonso and Bregman earlier on. Of course, they were involved in Juan Soto as well. But you think about Santander and the power. Rare is the switch-hitting bat who can hit 44 home runs for you. It's only happened really a handful of times in recent years in Major League Baseball. You know that he can hit in the American League East. Certainly he's got a home in Florida, so it's been a really good fit, I think, all along for Anthony Santander. And it seems as though once the Jays realized they did not get Roki Sasaki, they had been pursuing any number of other arms as well. They also may add a bullpen arm, too. I was told there were some possibilities there. They've looked at Carlos Estevez, too. So for Blue Jays fans, I know it's been a long offseason of waiting, even in some ways going back to last winter as well. But some welcome good news for the Toronto Blue Jays and Canadian baseball fans here today.
I'm glad you put up that lineup, JP, because my first question was, where is he going to play? Crowded outfield, yes?
Crowded outfield, but I think the way that the Jays would like to utilize Santander, in many ways, he's a perfect fit, Lauren, because he can move around, whether it's corner outfield spots, potentially DH as well. They'll have Springer still play in the outfield plenty, but I think giving him a break is a really nice strategy to get Springer off his feet sometimes, have George DH. You could then swing Santander into the outfield or vice versa. So, and he's someone that, depending on what happens with Vladdy, I think that's the big question, what the Jays decide to do with their free agency after 25 for both Vladdy and Bo Bichette. So I think a lot of variables still there for the Blue Jays, but they had to get a win at some point in free agency, and Santander is that player here on a Monday.
And JP, Ari Alexander just posted the details. We don't have the money yet. We do know that it was a 5-year deal. Was the fact that Toronto was linked to so many free agents that signed elsewhere maybe a key factor in getting the price up or the years up on Santander? Does that play into it?
I do, Lauren. I think it's the years, and they probably had to give him one more year beyond what a lot of other teams were comfortable doing. And I think once the Jays missed on Sasaki, they were certainly interested as well in Tanner Scott, too. You wanted to take that extra year and give him that extra year to make sure that you had the player. At some point, there are some teams that when you finish second or third and you're getting close, you eventually just have to give the extra year to get the player that you want. And this is a team that, for all the disappointments they've had in free agency, they still have a pretty good team. And they've got a solid starting rotation. They're still working on the bullpen. But you could not go into this year, the last year of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and not give yourself a good chance to compete. You had to make sure that you got him and you were able to give yourself the best chance to compete in this division in the last year before free agency of both Guerrero and Bichette. Now the Jays, Lauren, they've got a chance, and we'll see what other additions they may make in the next few weeks before arriving to Dunedin, Florida.
I mean, you said you get a sense they're not done. Are we talking about a Vlad deal? Are we talking about other free agents? What's next, do you think, north of the border?
I think that they would love to get Vladdy signed, Lauren, but I think each day that we get closer to the start of spring training or closer to the next offseason without getting that deal done, I think it becomes more and more of a remote possibility, just given how much money he is going to command. We all see the money that Juan Soto got in free agency, and you look at how young Vladdy still is as a prospective free agent. he's going to have a pretty nice payday 1 year from right now. So I think for that reason, it's still going to be a challenge to get Vladdy signed. They would love to, but I think more likely we're talking about one more free agent bat. Probably not someone on the order of an Alonso or a Bregman, but yes, perhaps someone like a Jurickson Profar, and then maybe add one more pitcher either in the rotation or the bullpen to, again, give yourself the best chance. When you've had other disappointments, what you now have to do if you're the Blue Jays front office, give yourself the best chance to win in 2025 with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette, because I think for a lot of reasons, Lauren, the reason why they were coming up short on some free agents is there was a lack of clarity on what the plan was going forward. Who was going to be on this team after 2024 and 2025? We now know that one of those key players will be Anthony Santander.